There's no need to panic if you've been dating for more than 6 months and haven't received a proposal, but if it's been years without a ring, you might be justified in wondering, will he ever marry me? Here are 20 signs he may not have any intentions of ever committing to marrying you. 1. He's told you he doesn't ever plan to get married. This probably goes without saying, but if a guy tells you he has no intention of ever marrying, he's probably telling the truth. Some people simply do not want to marry. Maybe they saw their parents' marriage fail, or they don't believe marriage is necessary for whatever reason. If this is the case, he does not want to marry and will most likely never marry. Number 2. He downplays the seriousness of your relationship. If you've been dating for months and he tells people you're not serious, or if he refuses to acknowledge your relationship in public, this is one of the clear signs he doesn't want to marry you. It implies that he is not proud of the relationship, and if he feels this way, he will not publicly declare his love for you by marrying you. Number 3. When he talks about his future, he doesn't talk about you. In 10 years, he hopes to be a CEO with a massive yacht and a trained lion named Simba. Great. Is he speculating on how you will fit in while mulling over these plans? Is he asking if you like cold weather if he's talking about moving to North Pole? Because these things are important. Even if he's joking, it's a bad sign if he keeps referring to his future self as a lone wolf, unless, of course, you're the lion on the leash, which would make for some very strange role-playing. Number 4. You haven't met his family. If he has made a point of introducing you to his family and appears to be concerned about what they think, this is an indication that he wants to marry you. It is uncommon for a man to marry without first introducing his prospective wife to his family, so if you have been together for a while and haven't met the family, marriage is most likely out of the question. Number 5. He becomes defensive when you ask about the future. In a long-term relationship, discussing future plans is normal. If he becomes angry or defensive when you bring up your future together, it indicates that he is conflicted about it. It most likely means that he senses your desire to discuss marriage, which puts him under pressure because he does not want to marry. Number 6. He makes continuous excuses not to get married. If you're wondering, will he ever propose to me? But if he keeps making excuses not to marry, the answer is most likely no. It is natural to want to be financially secure before getting married. Still, if he has a big promotion and is doing well, but then makes another reason not to marry, it's a pretty clear indication that marriage isn't in his plans. Perhaps his first excuse was that he needed to make more money, but once he does, his next excuse is that he wants to own a house. Following that, he may state that he must wait until he can afford a destination wedding. He is avoiding asking you to marry him by making excuse after excuse. Number 7. He refuses to talk about marriage or changes the topic. If a man knows he doesn't want to marry but wants to avoid a fight, he will refuse to discuss the subject at all. Number 8. You've been together for a long time, and no signs of proposing. If you've been dating for so long that you're wondering, will he ever propose? And he doesn't seem to respond to any of your hints that you want to get married, this is a good indication that he isn't interested in marriage. Maybe you've been together for years, even lived together for a time, and you've seen several mutual friends get married, but he still hasn't proposed. Number 9. He detaches from you emotionally. When a man is truly attached to a woman and wishes for her to be a permanent part of his life, he will allow her to be close to him. A man who is willing to be vulnerable with you sees a future with you, so if he is erecting walls and emotionally distancing himself from you, he does not see you as wife material. Number 10. He lives like a single man. If you're wondering why men don't want to marry, it's because some prefer the freedom of the bachelor lifestyle. If he is still acting like a college student, going to bars, drinking, and flirting with other women, this is one of the signs he does not want to marry you. He may spend all of his time with guys or prefer to spend most of his time with single people who aren't in committed relationships. He simply isn't ready to commit. Number 11. He proposes but then makes no additional plans. So he proposes, but then he avoids all wedding talk or refuses to set a date, reserve a venue, or plan who will be in the wedding. This implies that he proposed because he felt obligated to do so or because he wanted to keep the peace, but he has no intention of marrying you. Number 12. He drops hints that suggest he doesn't want to get married. If you want to know if he wants to marry you, pay attention to what he says. If he isn't going to marry you, he will most likely drop hints to that effect. For example, he might say something about not wanting to rush into a serious relationship, or about how young the two of you are. Number 13. He claims that he just doesn't know if he's ready. Remember the study about how long it takes for people to realize they want to marry their partner? If you've been together for years and he says he's not sure if he's ready to marry you, chances are he knows you're not the one and won't marry you. Most people know within 6 months whether their partner is the one for them, so if he is still unsure, it means he does not see you as his future wife. Number 14. You have to keep dropping hints. When you make hints about marriage but he does not propose, it indicates that he is simply not interested. One way to tell if he wants to marry you is that you won't have to force him. He'll want to ask you to marry him, and you won't have to beg him with seemingly interminable hints. Number 15. There is no sign of you on social media. It may appear insignificant, but in today's technological world, the majority of couples are connected on social media. Furthermore, research suggests that jealousy issues related to social media use can cause conflict in relationships. If he doesn't mention you on his account, he may want to appear single, which is a good indication that he isn't ready to commit to you. Number 16. You constantly feel insecure in the relationship. When you meet your life partner, you should feel secure and safe in your relationship. If you're constantly insecure in your relationship, this is a sign that he won't marry you. Number 17. He only cares about his sexual needs. A man who adores you and regards you as his future wife will want to please you in bed. If he appears to be using you for sex and doesn't seem to care if you get any pleasure out of it, this is not a man who intends to marry you. Number 18. It's clear you're not a priority in his life. If you appear to be an option in his life, meaning he only wants to hang out with you when other friends are unavailable or he doesn't have better plans, this is one of the top signs he doesn't want to marry you. When a man is committed to a future with a woman, he will prioritize her because he does not want to lose her. If you get the impression that you aren't a priority, this man has no plans for a future with you and is most likely just passing the time until he meets someone he considers to be his long-term partner. Number 19. He has countless stories about crazy ex-girlfriends. If he has had numerous failed relationships and blames all of his ex-girlfriends for being insane, it is possible that he is the problem. Perhaps he failed to commit to them, and instead of accepting that his hesitation to marry was the source of the problem, he has to blame the women. Number 20. He is selfish. When a man truly desires a woman, he will fight and make sacrifices to give her everything. He will work tirelessly to win her affection, even if it means moving or switching jobs. However, if he is not committed and will not make sacrifices to put his girl first, you will not see a ring or hear wedding bells in the future. Why? He is self-centered and uninterested in marriage. You cannot be in a one-sided relationship. It simply does not work and will cause you to become resentful. Thank you for watching. For more content, please subscribe, like and comment.